Hello, my K4 friends. Welcome back to another drama class. So, I know, my friends, that I can't see you guys for a little while, but that's okay because guess what? I still have a lot of fun and awesome things that we can do together until we're able to see each other again. And if we're lucky, in October at the end, we might be able to be together. But until then, here I am with a new video for you guys to continue our drama class. So we have talked in our drama class a lot about all these different emotions, right? The way we feel and the way, it affects our faces, right? Happy, sad, angry, disgusted, fearful, scared, calm, right? And love. So we have done a lot of work with all these different emotions. And remember, we've done one book, well, a movie technically, with Inside Out, and we also did The Color Monster. So I'm going to show you guys, right? So we had the emotions with Inside Out, right? So we had joy or happiness, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. And we talked about how they made the little girl in the book, Riley, the way they made her feel, and also about the different colors they had. And remember, colors could be different depending on which emotion they went with. So even though green was disgust was green in Inside Out, remember that the color monster felt differently. Because when he was green, he felt calm. And remember, friends, that calm is when we feel happy, but we're quiet and we feel peaceful with that little smile, right? And we just walk along peacefully. So that is an example of how emotions and colors can be the same or different. Also remember that being scared has two different colors. So in Inside Out, right, we had fear was purple. So that was what scared looked like in Inside Out. And for the color monster, now don't forget, remember fear was different. When the color monster felt afraid, he was gray, right? And all those different colored branches around him made him feel lost. And he felt small. And he sometimes felt like there were ghosts watching him. And we all moved our bodies this way, right? We all experimented with different emotions and how to move. And remember, I promised you guys, now it's time to move on to our best bit with emotions and feelings yet. This book, if you remember, is called The Way I Feel. It's a cool book. If you take a look, you can see right here that the E's have eyes in them, right? So we are going to talk a little bit about how these girls' emotions make us feel, right? And we're going to stretch our bodies out, and we're going to go ahead and we are going to do all the different emotions that she does. But, my friends, before we get started with The Way I Feel, with this fun girl, let's go ahead and just remind ourselves of the 4 rules of drama class, right? So let's start with number 1. The first rule of drama class is that we have a kind heart. Everyone go ahead and put your hands over your heart. We have a kind heart, right? And then the next thing when we have a kind heart, I should say, we go ahead and we make everyone feel welcome. We make everyone feel included. we are nice to everybody. That way everyone is happy and we feel like one big group in drama class. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2, if you remember correctly, rule number 2 is that we have safe bodies. So give yourselves a big hug and make sure we all have safe bodies. We have done such a good job with this one, friends, and I just think we're going to keep on being great with that, even though we can't see each other, right? And rule number 3, remember, take your eyes, make them real big. We have eyes watching. So if everybody watches Mr. Roth very carefully, then we will be A-okay, and we will see everything he does and be able to do it right the first time. And rule number 4, we have ears listening. Everybody take those ears, pull them out nice and big. We have ears listening. When our ears are this big, we can hear anything. So as long as we keep those 4 rules going, my friends, we are going to be A-okay and have a great time every day in drama class. All right. So let's get started. We are going to take our time exploring this book, The Way I Feel, right? But before we do, I want to go ahead and give us a little preview of 3 emotions. One is one we've talked about before, but 2 others are brand new, right? So let's go ahead and get the board up here, and we'll go ahead and we will talk about what to expect from all of these emotions. All right. So let's see what we have here. So, like I said, the book is called The Way I Feel, right? And we have 3 different emotions that we want to talk about. So the first one we have is silly, right? You see silly up here? So we have talked about being happy, and sometimes when we get happy, we've been a little silly, right? But we're going to talk about when we feel silly. So I'm going to write down some times that I feel silly, right? So I know I always feel silly, a little silly, when I'm in drama class. I love drama so much that sometimes I get so into it and so love working with you guys so much that it makes me feel very, very silly. So I'm going to write that down. Drama class makes me feel silly, right? Let's see. I'm trying to think of something else that makes me feel silly. Sometimes you'll watch a funny movie, right? And movies that are funny, right, that have fun jokes or silly characters or weird characters, they make me feel silly. So I'm going to write down funny movies. They make me feel silly, right? Now the last one is my friends make me feel silly. So I have some friends who tell jokes for a living. They're what they call comedians. And actually, my good friend, Mr. Schmitz, who teaches drama over at Brown Deer with high school students, he is a big comedy person. He writes comedy. He performs in comedy. He's just a funny, funny person. So when I hang out with him and all of his friends, they are funny. And they make me feel silly. So I'm going to write, my friends make me feel silly. So those are just 3 things that make me feel silly. Drama class makes me feel silly. Funny movies make me feel silly. And my friends make me feel silly. So all those things, I'm a silly guy, right? So those are just a few things I have that make me feel silly. And later on, we'll go ahead and try to act some of these things out. All right. Okay, so now let's see. scared. Boy, scared. Yes, we've talked a lot about scared. I think we've had it since the beginning. But you know what? It's an important one too. You may remember last week I talked about how being sad and being angry were probably the two hardest ones to talk about. I have to say that scared is number 3, probably right below those two, you know? Everyone's scared of something, or a few things. So I'm going to go ahead and write down things that I am scared of. And when you friends get this, and I have a special link for you guys, if you want to talk about things that make you scared too, I would love to hear it. You know, if you want to write something on my page, because hearing you guys be brave and tell me what scares you makes me feel good about all of us working together. So here we go. The very first thing, I think the biggest thing that scares me, I'm going to be honest with you guys, is bees, right? So I just don't like them. And here's the funny thing about bees. I have never actually been stung by one. But for some reason, that noise, you know, they buzz around your head, oh, it just really scares me. I don't know why. So, yeah, I don't really like bees. Bees scare me. The second thing that scares me a little bit are bats. Not baseball bats, right? Those are fun. I love to play baseball. I'm talking about the animal bats, right? So bats that fly, you know, they have little wings. I mean, I know they don't really want to hurt anybody, right? They're not trying to, but they show up when you least expect them. Sometimes they get into your house by mistake. And if you're alone at night and you don't see one just hanging upside down, right, and it just comes flying at you all of a sudden, boy, whew, that can scare you. That can just make you jump right up. And boy, if I had to say a third thing I'm scared of, well, not completely scared of, I think it might have to be spiders. Now, let me be more specific with spiders. I'll write down spiders. Now, if there are those little ones that kind of jump around and skirt along the ground like that, I don't mind those. Even, you know, the ones that have like little bodies with big legs, but they're kind of thin, I don't mind those, right? Now, if we're talking about the big spiders, like tarantulas, or even bigger, like if you ever see a wolf spider, those are huge. Or even spiders in Africa or Australia, ones you see in the desert, they are huge spiders. And I feel like you turn around for the first time, you see something with 8 legs just like scrolling around that's as big as your hand. For me, that's a little scary. So there we go. We have bees, we have bats, and we have spiders. Those are 3 things that scare Mr. Roth a little bit. All right, now this last one is a big new emotion, my friends. Let's take a look. I'll move over here at this word right here. This is a big word, and it says disappointed. I'll say that word again very slowly. Disappointed. Now, disappointed is interesting. Disappointed means that you are both a little bit sad and a little bit angry. So you're not quite either one. So you remember we've had sad faces and angry faces. So disappointed is kind of like finding a halfway point between those. And when the time comes, when we start reading The Way I Feel, I will show you what a disappointed face looks like. But let's talk about some things that might be disappointing. So let's see. Mr. Roth is going to think of three things that make him disappointed. So let's see. Number 1. Well, I'll be honest with you guys. The most disappointing thing, and I know it's a tough time right now, I am disappointed because I can't see all your wonderful faces actually at Aug Prep. So I'm disappointed because, I'm going to write this down, can't see my students, right? I mean, I get to see your faces on Schoology all the time, but you guys don't get to see each other. You don't get to see me for a while, at least if you're in, Ms. Weir or Ms. Zoo Tavern's class. I won't get to see you guys for a while, and that makes me feel disappointed because I love seeing your faces and I love seeing all your smiles every day. So that makes me feel very, very, very disappointed. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else was disappointed. I know what would disappoint me. Something I thought was disappointing. Before I was a teacher, right, I actually tried to be an actor. You guys have seen me, right? We all act like different characters in drama class, and I do cool poses with you guys. We make faces, happy, sad, right? All kinds of faces. When I was going to college, I wanted to be an actor. And I did shows, and I was in plays, and I acted all the time. And sometimes, both when I was in college and when I actually lived all the way out in New York City when I was trying to be an actor, I would do something called an audition. And an audition is when you stand in front of people, you tell them who you are, and you do a big performance of a character from a play or a show. And the whole point of that is to show them how good of an actor you are, right? So sometimes I would get certain parts. They would say, "Thank you, Mr. Roth. We really liked what you were doing." And they would give me a great part, and that would make me feel happy. But sometimes I didn't get a part, and that left me feeling a little disappointed. So I'm going to write that down as my number 2, right? I felt when I didn't get a part in a play, right? So let me draw a line there so I'm not confused. Okay. All right. And oh my goodness, I think the third most disappointing thing. This is kind of similar to not being able to see you guys, but I need to put it down anyway. So this year, my friends, my grandmother, she turned 90 years old. And last year we were planning this big party for her. Oh my goodness, she's 90, right? She's lived a very long time. Let's celebrate what a great life she's had. And of course, because we had to shut down and we had to social distance and we had to be safe, we understood, right? We got to be safe until it's okay for all of us to be in big places again. But I didn't get to see my grandmother for her big birthday party. So that was disappointing. So I'm going to write that down. No party for Grandma. All right. So, my friends, these are our 3 emotions to focus on for today. And as we read The Way I Feel, right, we are going to explore little by little what makes all of these emotions so important. All right, so I have these 3 on the board here. We have silly, we have scared, and we have disappointed. So now, let me just double check my list here just to make sure I didn't miss anything with you, my friends. Okay, so we have a little bit of, what do we have here? All right, so I'm going to read to you The Way I Feel, and I'm going to do only the first 3 pages. And we are going to explore how this girl feels. All right? So let me just back up my board here. All right. And where'd you guys go? There we go. All right. So let me go ahead and grab the book. And let's go ahead and get started. All right, so once again, friends, the way I feel. All right, here we go. And here is the girl. Whoops, wrong page. There is the girl. All right, and here she is. She is showing us how silly she is. Look at all those funny clothes she's wearing, right? She seems like she's going to be pretty fun, don't you think? I think so. All right. So the first page says, now here's what I'm going to do, friends. I'm not going to show you the pictures just yet. I'm going to tell you what she says, right? And then I am going to show you the picture later on. So let's start with silly. She says, silly is the way I feel when I make a funny face and wear a goofy, poofy hat that takes up lots of space. So I don't know if you guys have any silly hats at home, but you might want to think about what it would look like if you wore a silly hat. So think about how that makes you look. All right. The second emotion she feels is scared. All right. And it says, she says, I'm shaking because I'm scared. All alone in the dark at night. The thunder and lightning crash and roar. Now we've roared before, right? When we were angry. So this is kind of similar. Hold me close and turn on the light. So we're so scared, we're shivering, right? And we need a little light. Oh, goodness. Okay. Now here's our other new one, disappointed. The plans were made so long ago for you to visit me today. But now you can't come after all. I'm disappointed that we can't play. All right, so we have those three, right? Silly, scared, and disappointed. So I will show you now, friends, the faces that she made. So here is the girl being silly. Now she kind of looks a little bit like a clown. She's got one of those little weird neckerchiefs they have. She's got a funny nose. Her eyes are all crossed like this. She's sticking out her tongue. And look at, she said she was wearing a silly hat. That is a very silly hat. Look at all those eyeballs. Look at all those weird little streamers. It looks like a bunch of snakes with one eye. I think that's pretty silly. I don't know about you guys. But if I felt silly, I might look like this too. All right, now scared. Remember, we've seen scared 3 different ways. Now we're going to take all the books and compare them. So Inside Out, remember, fear is purple. It looks like this, right? And he's kind of nervous. He's biting his nails maybe a little bit. He's scared. The color monster, remember, he felt scared. He was gray. Let me find his gray real quick. So with that gray, here he is, right? He felt tiny and small. He thought he saw ghosts, and he felt like he was lost. So he's a little gray, right? Now, the girl, when she feels scared, first of all, it's black this time, right? Black and dark in her room. And she's so scared that she sits up and shivers. You ever get a big shiver, right? And her hair stands up straight. She's so scared. It's like one of those old cartoons. your hair stands up straight. So she is very, very scared. All right, and the last one, disappointed. All right, so here she is. She is very disappointed. Look, she had a tea party all planned with her friends, and now she can't do it because she feels disappointed. The friend couldn't come over, so it's not quite mad. Because remember, mad, we get those mad faces, we're upset. Disappointed is more, it's like the opposite of calm. Remember calm, we have a small smile. Disappointed, we have a small frown. So disappointed, we're like this. You might even go like that. That's a disappointed face. And here, I'll show you. Let's just do a quick stretch of our bodies, friends. So let's go ahead and stretch yourselves out, right? Stretch out. And there we go. And let's go ahead and big face, little face, big face, little face. Stick out your tongue. And go around. And the other way. Good. Blech. All right. So now we can act disappointed. So you're disappointed. Maybe you fold your arms. Here, I'll show you. I'm going to. Fold your arms a little bit. And, all right. We wanted to do something fun today, but it didn't work. A friend couldn't come over. It was raining outside, and we're disappointed. So that is a simple little disappointed walk. We don't feel good. We're trying to think of a way to feel better. There you go. All right, friends, we are almost out of time. So I am going to finish by letting you know an activity you can do for the rest of this week and even tonight. So we have something we're going to do called emotion pages. So what you guys are going to do is you are going to save some pieces of paper and you are going to draw faces, big, just a big face that shows a certain emotion. Now this is kind of similar to what we did with the masks that we made with our emotions, right? So remember, we all made the big masks together, and I made a silly face. So here is my silly face, right? So you are going to take a sheet of paper, my friends, and you are going to draw, let's see what we have here, on a blank piece of paper, a silly face, either one of three faces. A silly face, a scared face, or a disappointed face. So let me show you in the book again, just some examples real quick, because we're almost out of time. We have, here is the girl's silly face as an example. Here's Mr. Roth's silly face. Here's the girl's scared face, right? And here's Mr. Roth's scared face. And last but not least, here is the girl's disappointed face. And here's Mr. Roth's disappointed face. So those are some examples. So take a sheet of paper, my friends, and go ahead and draw some of your own faces. And I will also draw some pictures and I will post them on Schoology so you can see, my friends, all the examples I did. Okay? And I will have all three faces for you guys to use. Okay, my friends, that is all I have for you this time. I will have another video for you on Tuesday, so have fun, and I hope to see you soon. Bye, friends.